I'm Jeff,
I'm Katz.
and this is your Week 4 War League recap as Skill Issue takes on Diamond Dogs.
First, Bad Robot takes the field against I Hate Tom Brady.
Now, you already know Bad Robot is piloting Diva Hero combo, and he's looking to continue his undefeated streak.
I Hate Tom Brady is playing Black Wings. This is not a good matchup for Diva Hero combo.
Game 1 starts fast, as Bad Robot opens with both Future Fusion and Reinforcement of the Army, getting his engine firing on all cylinders right away.
Torrential Tribute salvages the game state for I Hate Tom Brady, but he still has no good way to apply meaningful pressure.
Bad Robot sees his opening and activates Heavy Storm, followed by Miracle Fusion, which brings Game 1 to a swift conclusion.
In the second game, I Hate Tom Brady draws a slightly more playable hand, but Snowman Eater into Caius nets Bad Robot an early advantage.
Hoping to lock Bad Robot out of the game, I Hate Tom Brady uses Blizzard and Brain Control to summon a Stardust with protection, but Bad Robot flips the script with Mind Control.
That's right. Now Bad Robot can safely destroy Mirror Force and go for lethal, but DD Crow taps the brakes on what would have otherwise been the end of the game.
Bad Robot is still in a decent spot though, as his opponent is forced to crash Stardust into Absolute Zero to clear the way for Sirocco.
A second Miracle Fusion proves too much, and I Hate Tom Brady is forced to surrender the game.
And with that, Bad Robot secures an early lead for his team and earns the Unbeatable Award for the third consecutive week.
Jeff is next to play, piloting Hero Frogs in his debut War League match against R3V's Black Wings.
Unfortunately, I don't see a single amphibian in the first 13 cards of my deck, Game 1.
I did the math, guys. There's literally a 1 in 2,000 chance of this happening with Jeff's build. Absolutely devastating.
I do everything I can, but it's not long before I'm forced to go to Game 2.
In the second game, Jeff opens Swap Frog and Trap Dust Shoot, but he's still forced into a corner early.
Fortunately, I'm able to capitalize on my knowledge of my opponent's back row to establish Dupe Block plus an enormous Absolute Zero.
R3V almost takes back control with Sirocco plus Whirlwind, but Jeff forces a Game 3 with a wide board, knowing that Mirror Force has already been used.
Game 3 looks a lot like Game 1. Once again, I can't find a meaningful frog until I'm 11 cards into my deck, so I rely on my hero engine early on.
And honestly, things start looking pretty good, as R3V can't seem to get his engine going either.
Once I get Treeborn rolling, my opponent makes a read, calling Caius with Mind Crush, preventing me from taking control of the game.
Jeff falls back on Substitoad, but Royal Oppression stops him in his tracks.
I use Unifrog to out the oppression, hoping to try the frog combo again the next turn.
But his opponent shotguns Deck Devastation Virus at the start of main phase 1, leaving Jeff with 2 copies of Miracle Fusion and nothing else.
And I'm kicking myself, because in hindsight, I could have used turn player priority to summon the Substitoad first and be able to play through the DDV, setting up a lethal with a second Miracle Fusion as backup.
But in the game, he lets the DDV ride, summons one Absolute Zero, and gets locked out of the game when R3V outs Ab Zero with Dark Armed, and then sticks a Fossil Dino on top of it.
With that, the score is tied, and it's up to Striker to take back the lead.
Now Striker is playing the Vayu Turbo Mirror versus Zhun. You think that's right?
Yeah, that sounded really, really good. I'm very impressed. Striker loses Rock, Paper, Scissors, but Grepher and Vayu in his opening hand let him start up his engine early.
Both players try to edge out an advantage, but it's Jun who commits first, swinging with a big Sirocco for massive damage.
Unfortunately, I'm going to be smiling during the second half of that line. Striker survives the hit and answers back with Thought Ruler, Archfiend, and Armor Master to take control and heal up some life.
Spirit Reaper buys Jun some time, but Icarus Attack provides an answer.
Jun claps back with Burial from a different dimension into Caius.
But Striker answers with Torrential into another Grepher, sticking another menacing board.
Which Jun promptly clears with his own Silverwind.
But Striker gets the last laugh as a Burial of his own sets his grave back up. But he runs out of gas and is forced back into a top deck scenario.
Fortunately, Striker finds a return from a different dimension, and it's too much for Jun to handle.
Striker takes game 1.
In game 2, Jun kicks things off with Greffer, pitch Vayu, set a back row, pass.
Striker sees an opportunity to completely cripple his opponent, so he goes for Heavy Storm into Kaiku, his own Greffer, and Armed Wing, dealing tons of damage and banishing Jun's birds.
Jun is forced into a defensive posture, and Striker tries to capitalize, but Mirror Force completely wipes out his board.
Both players are low on resources, but Striker eventually takes back momentum until a Torrential Tribute leaves him on his back foot once more.
Striker is forced to concede, and the players set up for game 3.
Both players start off by setting Hamster, but Striker's tempo advantage enables him to get an early lead, and he's able to ride that momentum to a quick win.
Just like that, Skill Issue is one victory screen away from blocking away their first W of the season, and Blitz gets to take the first swing.
We've seen a lot of clean play from Blitz on Amaryllis in past weeks, and he'll be piloting the same deck this time around versus R Magi's Hero Frogs.
An early trade-in and Raikou set bode well for Blitz when his opponent's best turn 1 play is to summon Elemental Hero Ocean and swing.
Unfortunately, Blitz manages to mill or draw all of his Light Sworns before the resolution of Charge of the Light Brigade, so he doesn't get the full value. But he still manages to secure an early advantage with tons of milling.
With Blitz putting out a ton of pressure, R Magi is forced to commit to Absolute Zero, which gets answered by Mirror Force.
A well-timed Caius puts Blitz in a tricky spot though, as he's forced into a simplified game state versus a stronger board position.
Blitz does everything he can, but in the end his opponent is able to grind out the win in the first game.
In the next, our hero sticks an early Titanial, but his opponent quickly answers and slams Vanity's Fiend behind.
Mark of the Rose equals the pressure though, and R Magi plays into Torrential when he summons Swap Frogs, clearing the way for DDR and Amaryllis plays.
In just a couple of turns, R Magi is forced to surrender, and only 8,000 life points stand between Skill Issue and a Week 4 win.
R Magi starts off the third game with a Frog combo, and Blitz T-sets and passes.
When his opponent goes for Caius on Dandy, Blitz chains Needle Ceiling, breaking Duplock and causing the frogs to miss timing.
With a window to apply some pressure, Blitz tries to set up his grave and deal some damage with Lila.
In the end phase, DD Crow banishes Amaryllis, stopping the bleeding for Diamond Dogs, but Blitz still has plays.
He's able to stick a Titanial, and things start looking bad for the Frog player until he draws Lightning Vortex to clear Blitz's board.
Blitz answers back with another Titanial and Amaryllis beside it, but Torrential Tribute serves as an equalizer once again.
Now it's down to top decks, and R Magi finds Vanity's Fiend right away.
But Blitz draws Hidden Armory, which proves to be the perfect answer to the cloaked and furry-armed figure. Blitz takes game 3.
Oh, yeah, let me get the play on words here. Okay. With that, we issue the Diamond Dogs their first loss and seize our first win.
But there's still work to be done. We've won the battle, but this is a war and every win counts, so I sit down with hopes of improving our overall record.
Hats is piloting zombies versus Tom Brady of DN's Lightsworns.
I set a Pyramid Turtle and pass, but my opponent answers with Celestia. They mill a wolf, then swing into Gorbs.
Hats takes board control during the battle phase, but is forced into a tough spot when Tom Brady of DN accumulates more than enough Lightsworns engraved to drop Judgment Dragon, threatening lethal as long as he can normal summon anything beside it.
I decide I have to make Stardust, enabling me to clear their board in the main phase 2 if they do have JD.
Tom Brady of DN can't find the boss monster and is forced to make Goyo Guardian instead, but he forgets to take the Stardust Dragon.
Halfway through my next turn, my opponent pings Stardust, asking to summon it. I let them, then summon Brio, discard my hand, and attack for game.
That's very generous. In game 2, the Diamond Dog leads with a huge combo. He passes turn with a huge board and a full grave.
Deja vu sets in as I set Pyramid Turtle and some back row, only to see Celestia hit the board moments later.
Hats has Skill Drain though, which proves to be a major thorn for his opponent.
I'm able to summon a big boy and go +4 with Mirror Force, securing a swift 2-0 for my team.
Pats also earned the Untouchable Award, as the only damage he took was when he paid the cost for skill drain.
And that's it for the Week 4 recap. We'll see you next time. As the captain of Team Skill Issue, it falls on me to give you all an update on an important roster change. As you might have heard, Bad Robot made the switch to Team Perfect Circle. I'd like to direct your attention to a graphic that I feel like explains why this is a pretty definitively bad move for Bad Robot. It's self-explanatory, so I won't take you through the details, but feel free to pause and kind of peruse the different elements of this move that might not work in his advantage in the long run.
In all seriousness, though, we want to give a huge thanks to Bad Robot for his contributions to the team so far this season, and we hope he continues his undefeated streak on Perfect Circle.